Welcome to In the Green, the podcast based on the intersection between life, finance, and the pursuit of breaking par. I am your host, Ryan Briggs with GFG Wealth Advisors. Time to tee off. Welcome back to the In the Green podcast. We are on location today. This is In the Green, in the wild. And if you've ever been here, you know exactly where we are. We are the number one golf club in the state of Texas. What number in the country now?
51.
51. Whispering Pines in Trinity, Texas. This place is special to me. I've spent a lot of my adult life here and growing up and becoming a young adult and professional in the world, and always happy to come back. We're joined today by the director of golf now.
New title.
His nickname is Pro Rowe, so it's,
We're gonna keep it that way, though.
I like that better, yeah. So Chris was an incredible influence in my life. So our topic today is going to be covering mentorship. So I felt what better way to talk about that than have one of the mentors that meant so much to me along the way come give us some insight into what it means to be a mentor to somebody. So I want to introduce you a little bit. A lot of people might not know you that are watching this or listening. Kind of give us your background. When did you get in the golf business? How long you been around? And when did you come to Whispering Pines?
Whispering Pines, well, let's start over. East Central University, Oklahoma, played golf there. Mm-hmm. Thought I was going to be on tour, and it took me about 1 week to realize that probably wasn't going to happen because everybody's really good in college.
They're very good.
Understood that I love golf, I love teaching, I love everything about the game, and I wanted to figure out a way to stay in it. So my dad was a member at a country club called Dornick Hills. Mm-hmm. Was top 5 club in Oklahoma, Perry Maxwell's first golf course. I talked to the pro a lot, and he ended up hiring me for my first job. From there, I was there for less than 3 years, and then moved on to Colonial in Fort Worth. Stayed there for 10 years, did 10 tour events, got a lot of great education and learning, what this business is all about. And then this job came open. I'm about to start my 21st year here. So I've been very blessed to be actually the last 30 years of my life, I've been at the number one clubs in the state. So been very fortunate and blessed on that.
People often ask me why I left Whispering Pines. Why would you leave such a good place? And, he isn't going anywhere, to my knowledge. He loves it here. And
I hope not.
This is such a good place. So let's dive into our topic a little bit here. Just the broad generalizations of mentorship. How important do you think it is to have a mentor in your life, whether it be business, personal, spiritual, whatever your path is? How important do you think it is to have somebody?
Well, I think it's extremely important because everybody needs somebody to bounce things off of and to get ideas and to help them on their journey or their path. When you work for me every season at the end of the year, tell me your goals, tell me your dreams, tell me what you want to do. Because if I don't know your dream, if I don't know what you want, I can't help you get there. And ultimately, my legacy is not a bunch of nice awards and things that are on a wall back in a teaching facility. It's more about how many people did I influence and help them move on to whatever their dream was. So even though you're not in the golf business anymore, the golf business puts you where you are today. And when we had that discussion about you getting out of it, and you were pretty distraught about it, that you somewhat might have let me down. No, this was, if you never got to here, then you never got to traditions, and if you never got to traditions, you didn't get to your next step. Mm-hmm. So it's not all about, success isn't, hey, you're a golf pro because you work for me. It's where did you go, how is your life, how are you spiritually, how are you with your family, what kind of father are you or mother. That's the big picture. Our legacy's not you were the teacher of the year or, those are nice things and all the different nice awards you receive along the way. But it's way more important to me of what influence did I have when I'm old and gray and gone to look back, what was your track record for helping people?
Sure. I always found some similarity between, you hear about the Belichick coaching tree, you hear about the Nick Saban coaching tree, about where did the people that work for them go off to? It's very similar in the golf world. Mm-hmm. Would you agree? I mean,
sure.
You talk about the Bob Ford coaching tree. You have a coaching tree yourself where, you've mentored people and they've gone out and, a lot of that is recognition for what you've been able to do for people. And you're just getting quite big, which is nice.
Yeah. I always say that the bigger this place becomes, the bigger Whispering Pines becomes, everybody here becomes bigger.
Right.
So even though you can look at Bob Ford or you can look at Nick Saban's, where they were coaching and where they ended up or where they worked, they elevated those places, but as they were elevated, they were also elevated as well. So very fortunate to be at a place where, you keep getting all this recognition and you're part of it. You're not all of it. And a lot of times I get most of the recognition around here because golf professionals are kind of like the quarterback. Everybody wants to, hey, you did a great job, or wants to be around you, or kind of like a preacher, everybody wants to shake your hand, go hang out with you. Mm-hmm. But really, at the end of the day, if you don't have your line blocking for you, if you don't have your defense helping you, then you're going to get sacked every time. So it's a whole team effort here. It always has been. But as the golf professional or director of golf, you kind of get more accolades than you deserve, but it's really a big team.
It definitely is. It takes a village. And, we always had a great staff here at Whispering Pines, and, we were fortunate to have a lot of people. And that's what really helps create the experience.
Sure.
It's just the size of team we can have. I'm going to move along a little bit. Let's talk about a mentor in your life. So talk about somebody that influenced you in a positive way. It doesn't have to be about golf. It can be, other aspects of your life. And then how did you go about establishing that relationship when you knew that you had something to learn from this person?
I believe in the circle of 5. I've got 5 people that if I have something going great in my life or bad in my life or just need to talk to somebody, I've got those 5. And then you've got the next circle of people that you hang out with and you have a good time with, or you might even travel with, and then the next circle. So one of the challenges here is everybody wants a piece of your time, not just here but everywhere, that everybody wants just a little time with you. And I've got to be very careful the people that I let into a circle of 5, because most people, and this isn't a bad thing, but most people want something from you. When you're the director of golf at a place like this, there's always some angle that somebody wants. And when you find those true relationships, like I can tell you, hey, I'm struggling in my marriage, or I'm struggling with my son, or those type of people, when you have those conversations, they're typically in a teaching facility, that they come to you and you figure it out pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And I would say, I've worked for some golf professionals that I learned more of what not to do than what to do, but you learn both ways.
You do. Also very valuable to watch somebody do it a different way than you would.
100%.
Yeah.
And my mentors typically are, in my circle of 5 right now, are very successful people at the club that have the same set of beliefs that I have, that have the same ideas about family and different things. So that's very important to me, that if I'm going to let you in my world, I want to make sure that that person I can trust and pick up the phone at any time and call them.
Yeah, that's important. Availability, if you are a mentor to somebody, is, if you agree to take on the role, you then have to perform the duty, right? You've got to be there for those people because they're counting on you in a big way. So can you give us a anecdote, specific example of how a mentor has had a lasting effect on you? If you can please omit names if you feel the need to, but
we have a member here. You know him. I'll leave it. Well, I'll say his name, Cam Monroe.
Yep.
And Cam is he is the most wise person I've ever met in my life. Now, he's a character, and he's played some great jokes. We don't have time to go through all of them. There's some
good might ones. Call his jokes epic.
They are epic, and he should write a book about all the things that happened in his life, and it would be a movie, and it would absolutely be a Forrest Gump type of movie. But this guy, to me, has, when I look back on who probably had the most influence in the last 20 years of my life, he 100% has. He's from finances to how would you handle this problem to I'm having a challenge with this person in management or whatever. What do you think I should do? And he's always given me incredible advice. And I look back, I thought about that question because you had sent me some of the questions you might ask, and his name popped up. Obviously, you have different mentors and different people that have influence, but if there was one particular, he'd be the one.
Nice. And I did not team up for this. I did not know who he was going to say, but I will have a tie-in here. Since we are wealth advisors at GFG, Mr. Monroe is also a wealth advisor. So, not only can a wealth advisor in your life be a positive mentor for your finances, but we stretch far beyond that. We're looking for complete growth in our clients any way that we can help. So Cam is a very shining example of what a wealth advisor should be. He does a great job.
So what was it like to mentor Ryan?
This should be good.
Well, first off, Ryan was in the PGM program, and I was giving him golf lessons to help him pass his PAT. So this is back when you were 18 years old.
Yeah. Long time
So,
ago.
wow, long time ago. And you were a young man, which everybody I bump into are young men as they're coming through the program. And I knew immediately you'd be somebody I wanted to hire. And you're working for the section at the time, right?
No, I was yes. So a little bit of color there. So once I graduated the PGM program, after I had caddied here in school, I went to work for the Southern Texas PGA section. And then, yes, I left the Southern Texas PGA section to come back and be a golf professional here.
Correct. And when Ryan worked here, you're probably wanting some of the challenges and a little bit of things that have happened. One of the things with Ryan is Ryan was going to be a better head pro than an assistant pro. And I can say that because I was kind of the same way. I want to be the leader. I want to be in charge. I want to run the place. And so numerous times I'd have to set Ryan down and make him understand your time is coming, but my time is now. And we had good, hearty discussions, but they were always good discussions. He was a fantastic employee.
Always were.
And
you have a good way of talking to people about situations like that as well.
Correct. And I remember one time, Ryan, because he worked for the section and was a rules official, he was handling a situation with a guest or member, I can't remember who it was, but he handled it like a rules official. And I said, we don't handle our membership as a rules official. We handle our membership as golf professionals. So we had to go back out. We turned everything around. We made it right. But that was a good learning experience to where, everything's not black and white in our industry. And you can't let the emotions get to here. You got to be able to calm the situation down. And it's not you drop it here and this is the only option you have. No, we're going to give you a couple of options and we're going to make this work.
Right.
But all those lessons, if you don't have those lessons, and every one of you guys I made the mistakes, and I wouldn't even say they're mistakes. They're learning experiences that everybody I get that comes through here, you're grooming them to be able to do what you do. And end of the day, when I look back on it, it's my responsibility to make you, the day you leave this property to go do your next career move or your next job, you're like my kids. I have to prepare you the very best I can and then hope I just did the best I could. But we all learn from mistakes and we all learn from things that we did well. And in life is full of both of those. And not everything's just, rose petals and rainbows around here. But there are challenges that pop up, and how we manage those challenges, builds character to the next move that down the road, like, okay, this is how we did it there. And now in my world, I'm dealing with a client that's upset about whatever we did. Okay, that learning experience 20 years ago here, 10 years ago, could help him make a good decision on how to make that situation better.
Certainly. And, all of our conversations that we ever had, nobody likes having those conversations, right? I mean, it's not, you don't want to have it, but if somebody that you are mentoring, coaching, is not performing in a way that is in line with how you see them going or in the best interest of the entire team, it's your responsibility. It really is.
Sure.
And sometimes it can be uncomfortable. So, if you find yourself in a situation where, and I'm speaking to the viewer now, if you find yourself in a situation where you are mentoring somebody, you have to find your own way to shape people and have those hard conversations. True mentorship is not for the faint of heart at all. You really have to care and you have to put a lot of effort into it, and that's something you always did.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you. One of the best stories that I have about, I guess, being appreciative of your mentorship was when I was back working for the PGA section. I was dead asleep one night, and I woke up at 1:30 in the morning. And for whatever reason, I felt this unbelievable urge to write you a thank you letter at 1:30 in the morning.
Really?
So I just got up, I wrote it, just thank you for everything that you did when I was a caddy here. I didn't even really have a full intention of coming back to work at Whispering Pines at that time. It was just something I just sat straight up in bed and went and wrote this letter. And I signed it the next morning and sent you the letter. And I know you remember that because when you actually came and hired me, you cited that as one of the reasons why, you felt good about the move. So
it's the little things that people miss. And the people that make it and are successful, they do the little things. And I've never interviewed anybody to work here. I've already interviewed you through you caddying here, through what I saw. I tell all my staff in orientation every time we reopen, every one of you either interviewing for me every day you come to work or you're interviewing for a member that might hire you. And Ryan writing that thank you note got him the job. That was the whole reason, because I had a lot of other people that didn't do that. And so when you see that in people, you understand they're seeing the world a little different and they're doing the extra things. And I don't understand why the rest of the world doesn't get it, but very, very few people do what it takes to get to the top. And most of the time when you do get to the top, whatever the top is, it's lonely there because there's only so many people to get there. And there's only so many people you can talk to. In my world right now, I'm not saying I'm at the top, but I've been very blessed to achieve a lot of neat things at this point in my life, and I'm on the tail end of it. I'm 53, and you kind of start looking at the back end going, okay, I've got maybe 10, 12 years left. Everything in my mindset is what can I do to help other people right now. I'm not chasing awards. I'm not chasing a lot of those things. But when you get to the top of whatever your profession is, the only people you can really talk to that can relate are the people that have gotten there. So I always thought it was, when I go to the PGA show when I was 30 years old, and I would look at the Bob Fords or all these cool pros, like, wow, man, that'd be so cool to hang out with them. Well, now I am. And all of a sudden I've got this younger generation kind of like, hey, and I don't really realize that stuff. Other people will tell me.
You never realize your exact age in life, right? You're always, if you're like me, you're 10 years younger than you actually are.
I try to be, but I try to be. But you're sitting at, this year at the PGA show, I'm sitting with Bob Ford at dinner, and we're talking about all kinds of things, and all of a sudden your network just keeps growing. And it's all those little things you do that put you in that position. And a lot of people, and you know this, that the higher up you go, the more people either have a jealousy issue or a problem with you, or like somebody that you don't even know, like, I don't like that guy. Well, do you even know that person? And what I've found is that when people say something like that, whatever profession you're in, I don't like him, or an example, I hate Taylor Swift. Well, why? You don't know Taylor Swift.
Sure.
She's just successful and she's incredible at what she does. I personally love Taylor Swift. I'm just using that as an example. And my wife loves Taylor Swift. But when you have that happen, I've reached the point in life where you go, most people that do that, you just didn't work as hard as the other person. And everybody you talk to, there is 100%, every time I've talked to anybody who's ultra successful, and everybody that walks through the gates or comes through the shop at Whispering Pines,
pretty target-rich environment.
They've done all right in life.
Yeah.
And I've had numerous conversations from people that own baseball teams to people that are they've got a B in front of their a number of wealth. And there's three things that always happen. Everybody worked hard. Nobody didn't work hard to get to where they are. Number two, everybody took a risk somewhere. You took a risk leaving the golf business to do this. Other people took different risks to get to where they are. And number three, somebody along the way helped you. Somebody helped you get to where you are.
Yeah, you can't do it alone.
And I've had that conversation with probably 25 different people that are ultra successful. I'm not going to name drop them, but all three of those happen.
Yeah.
And I look at my career the same way. I've all three of those things happen. I took a risk coming to Whispering Pines because when I left Colonial, this place wasn't what it is today.
You came here in 2003?
2004. And it was, just a really cool golf course in the middle of nowhere. And I always knew that if I stayed here, I was working for an incredible family, that this is either going to be a life job or is going to be a 3 to 5 year springboard. And what it's become has been pretty amazing, because now it's cliche, but it's like Augusta in Texas. So it's worked out well, but my risk was coming here, and then other people along the way have helped me.
I really appreciate you letting us out here. Let us come talk to you.
You just want to play golf, right?
Well, that might be what we're doing here in a little bit. If you're going to make the drive, at least bring the clubs with you.
Just like the sales reps. Any sales rep comes sees me, make sure and bring your clubs.
Yeah, some didn't, which I never understood that.
They were silly then.
I totally agree. Well, I appreciate everybody listening, whether you are watching us on YouTube or in your car headed to work. Hopefully we provided some good tidbits, whether you're looking for a mentor or you are a mentor to somebody. If you ever have any questions, I'm available on social media. We can dive into this. We'd love to have a conversation with you. And we will see you in the 19th hole. Thanks for listening to our episode today. Make sure to like, share, and download our episodes wherever you get your podcasts. And we'd really appreciate a review. Hope to see you in the 19th hole. Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized finance advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security or engage in any specific trading strategy. Results will vary. Past performance is no indication of future results or success. Market conditions change continuously. This commentary reflects the personal opinions, viewpoints, and analysis of GFG Wealth Advisors. It does not necessarily represent those of RFG Advisory, Private Client Services, or their clients or their employees. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by GFG Wealth Advisors or RFG Advisory, or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives of Private Client Services, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services are offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor. Private Client Services, GFG Wealth Advisors, and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place.